I've just wrapped a birthday gift with some dinosaur paper. And I have this little piece of paper left over. I want to make a card out of this, but I don't just want to use the paper as is. I actually want to steal the images from here to make a different arrangement of the creatures that I find here. I'm going to use packing tape to make stickers out of the images. First thing I need to do is to cut out the images that I want. I think I might even use the words as well. After separating the images from each other, I cut carefully around each graphic, making a small yellow margin around every part of it. It's yellow because that's the color of the paper, obviously. If your images are on white background, that's even better, but this is what I have to work with. I've already decided that I'm going to keep the yellow background from my card background, so the yellow margins will just disappear. I may try to cut even closer, leaving no yellow margins at all so that I can have cleaner images and can use these cute little dinosaurs on other backgrounds. I think if I go around it with a black marker to make a heavy line around the outside edge, it might be a little easier. I'm going to try that. I will show you how that turned out toward the end of this video. For this job, you need a really good pair of scissors, preferably small scissors. It's easier to work. When cutting, you hold the image in your left hand and you do the cutting with the right hand. The right hand, notice it doesn't move as much as the yellow hand does, as the left hand does. And you do all the turning with your left hand. If you're left-handed, then you would do the opposite. I tried to make the margins even all the way around the image. I'm not sure that I'll use the little flames, but I'll cut them out anyway, just in case I decide to use them. Next, we need a piece of parchment paper. I cut a square a little larger than my dinosaur image. Then using wide packing tape, I covered the parchment paper with the tape. This layer will become the sticky backside. Then I place my image on the taped paper, and then I cover it with another layer of packing tape. Then I use my stone scraper. I use this to clean off my cooking stones. I use that to firmly press the 4 layers all together. You can also use a credit card or any smooth, hard plastic edge, like maybe a frosting spreader, something from your kitchen. Doing this will push out any potential bubbles as well. When I cut out my stickers, this time I cut an even larger margin all the way around the image. This final cut doesn't have to conform to the image shape with as much detail because the white background will become transparent when finished. Well, look at that. We have our own DIY sticker made from one of the images from the gift wrapping. It is that simple. You can make stickers out of nearly any image that you find. I have decided to use black for my card base. I thought about blue, but I ended up changing it to black. The black cardstock is a half of a sheet of an 8.5 by 11 cardstock. The yellow is cut 4-inch wide by 5.25 inch to fit the card base. That gives me a nice black frame around the outside perimeter of the background color. I just always think framing adds an extra touch. Now it's time to play with my image. I decided to pull in this balloon bouquet since I'm making a birthday card for one of my grandsons. I moved them around and to try to figure out what arrangement is going to work. The die cut for the balloon came from Amazon. It's just one die, but I had to cut out all the different colors of the balloon to glue it all together, and I glued it together on a black background. Once I'm happy with an arrangement, I start sticking my stickers down simply by peeling off the backing parchment paper. The yellow margin almost disappears on the yellow background, which is why I chose yellow. Also because yellow matches the wrapping paper on the birthday gift, which is going to one of my grandsons. The Dimetrodon and the Tyrannosaurus are larger animals in real life, taller than the Stegosaurus. So if we layer the red Stegosaurus toward the bottom on top of the other two that are in the background, it will work. Objects appear to be smaller the further back they are, so they should be placed a little higher on the picture plane. T-Rex can hold the balloons. Also, things lower to the bottom of the page are closer to the viewer. This makes the arrangement and perspective work. That's just a little art tip. Our card is bright and cheery. The other images went on the inside of the card. It is nice that I can overlap images such as the word partly over the balloons. The yellow margin over the letter R actually helped it to stand out from the orange balloon. But notice the other letters blended to the yellow background. If the card base is of a color, I almost always insert a white card base to place my card message on. I just think it looks better on white. I decided to use one of the dinosaurs on the card envelope as well. You can use the stickers however you want. And it coordinates well with the gift wrapping. Well, I achieved my goal for this card. My card matches the gift wrapping perfectly. After making this first card, I wanted to experiment with the same colorful images, only this time removing the yellow margin around the image. I was worried about cutting out the detailed images, so decided to go around them with a thicker black line, just using a regular Sharpie. That did help simplify the cutting edge. Plus, if I accidentally cut into the black line, it won't hurt my graphic, so there's a benefit to the bold line. Here is the difference between the heavy black line around the edge and the original image. It really does help it to pop, and covered up some of those tight little areas that I no longer had to cut out. I was even able to enhance some of the details with a fine point marker on the Dimetrodon. The thicker black line down his back helped push his sail further behind him, helping the image to make a little more sense. Following the same procedure as before, I covered the parchment paper with clear packing tape. When doing strips, I overlap the edges of the tape just slightly. If you don't want seams, you could line them all up in a single row and just use one long row of tape to cover the images. That would have worked too. Then laid the images on and covered them with packing tape. When doing something new, you always think of a better way to do it next time. There's always something to learn through the creative process. I think they look really sharp. I like the bold outline. Cutting them out was much easier than I expected it to be. When cutting the stickers, be sure to cut out an extra white margin all the way around each image. The outside edge will be fully transparent once we peel off the backing paper, so I can place them on any color background or even on a printed paper design. They look great, but I don't have the time to create another card. I have other things pressing on me that I must do. I'll just place my new stickers in a bag to use at a later date. I hope you found some help and inspiration from this simple technique. Thanks for watching.